The receipt is 47 inches long. Your club prints them on thermal paper that curls the moment you touch it. At the top, "Welcome to Golf Depot." At the bottom, a total that includes a $637 set of irons, plus exactly 0 measurements of what that money bought. You never saw a compression test result. You never saw a launch monitor screen. You paid $637 for a promise, and the promise came in a box that said Aerospace Titanium Face, in a font engineered to feel expensive. You're over 55 years old, and for the first time in your golfing life, you are being quietly cheated by something you never thought to question.
This isn't just a game.
The golf ball.
It's a multi-billion-dollar
Here
industry
is the contradiction.
built on precision and
Golf
branding.
ball manufacturers spent the last 20 years convincing every amateur that a faster swing needs a harder ball. They built a mythology around compression ratings, like it was the secret key to distance. The lower the swing speed, the lower the compression. The higher the swing speed, the higher the compression. Simple, clean, marketable. A $54 dozen golf balls with a number on the box that tells you how compressed it gets when you hit it. The problem? That number is mostly theater for anyone under 100 miles an hour. And here is the deeper problem. After age 55, your swing speed drops on average 9% per decade. You did not wake up one day with less power. It leaked out gradually, year by year, round by round, until the ball you trusted to travel 280 yards now stops at 230, and you blame your body instead of the ball. Back in 1995, when the Titleist Pro V1 did not exist yet, and the market was split between wound balls and two-piece Surlyn rocks, compression was a real variable. A professional player swinging 115 miles per hour needed a wound ball rated at 100 compression or higher, or the ball would overcompress and turn into a dead marshmallow off the face. A senior amateur swinging 75 miles per hour needed a ball rated at 80 compression or lower, or the ball would feel like granite and never compress enough to transfer energy. The difference was real, and the difference was visible. Then, 2 things happened. First, urethane cover technology arrived and erased most of the spin difference between compression ratings. Second, the marketing departments discovered that compression numbers sell.
Shot after shot.
If a customer believes that buying a tour-level compression ball will add 10 yards, they will pay premium prices for a decade before they ever check. That sentence, "a decade before they ever check," is the quietest theft in golf retail. You are being timed, and the timer is your own trust. If you want to keep uncovering the numbers behind the marketing, subscribe so you do not miss the next reveal. In the comments, type "check" if you have ever bought a tour ball without verifying it on a launch monitor. Here is what the launch monitors actually show. A golfer with a driver swing speed of 85 miles per hour, which covers roughly 70% of male golfers over 55, will see an average distance difference of less than 6 yards between a ball rated at 70 compression and a ball rated at 110 compression. 6 yards. On a 220-yard drive, that is less than 3%. And that 3% only shows up when both balls are struck exactly on the sweet spot with exactly the same clubhead path, which, for an 85-mile-per-hour swing, happens maybe once every 18 holes. The real mechanism is not compression. It is how the ball deforms at impact relative to the club face. A softer ball deforms more across the face, staying in contact a fraction of a millisecond longer, which for lower swing speeds actually increases energy transfer. A harder ball deforms less, rebounds faster, and is designed for a swing that delivers more energy than the ball can absorb. If you do not have that energy, the hard ball simply bounces off your club face, taking your stored energy with it. Think about what that means. The harder ball, the one marketed as tour grade, is literally pushing your driver face away faster than your swing can load it. You are giving back distance to a box that promised it. In 1968, Spalding released the first popular two-piece golf ball, the Top Flight. It had a compression rating of 90. The average male golfer in 1968 had a swing speed around 82 miles per hour. Nobody told them they were using the wrong ball, because nobody had invented the problem yet. Golfers just played, and distance was what distance was. The first myth is the most dangerous. High compression equals more distance. The opposite is true for about 80% of players over 55. The second myth, soft balls lose distance on full shots. They lose distance on miss hits. On center strikes, they fly the same or farther than hard balls for anyone under 95 miles per hour. The third myth, you need to match compression to your swing speed exactly. You do not. The margin is roughly 20 compression points in either direction before you see a measurable difference. The fourth myth, tour players all use high compression balls. Many tour players now use balls rated between 80 and 90 compression because they want feel on short shots, not maximum driver speed. The fifth myth, your age does not change your ball requirements. That one is not a myth, it is a lie. And it is the most expensive lie in the pro shop. A 2019 study by Golf Digest, tracking 3,000 amateurs across 47 states, found that golfers over 55 who switched from a tour-level high compression ball to a mid-compression ball designed for their actual swing speed gained an average of 8.7 yards on drives, not lost. Gained. For the cost of a dozen balls and a single afternoon on a launch monitor. The mechanism behind the 8.7-yard gain is straightforward. When a lower swing speed meets a harder ball, the ball does not compress fully at impact. Instead, it slides up the club face, increasing launch angle and decreasing ball speed. The ball goes higher, spins more, and lands shorter. A softer ball compresses more fully, stays on the face longer, and launches at the angle the driver was designed to produce. You are trading an artificially high, spinny ball flight for a piercing, rolling ball flight. Same swing, different physics. That is the core of it. Same swing, different physics. 8.7 yards you left on the course because the ball did not match your speed. Subscribe if you want to find a few more of those hidden distances in your own bag. And in the comments, write. If this resonates with you, there's a lot more where this came from. Link in the description. Tell us, how many yards do you think you've lost to the wrong ball? The system depends on you not knowing this. Every ball display in every pro shop is arranged with the premium tour balls at eye level, priced at $54 to $70 a dozen, with the soft, senior balls on the bottom shelf, often discounted, often in plain white boxes, looking like a concession to frailty. Nobody wants to walk to the checkout with a box labeled Lady or Senior on their 55th birthday. The shame is the marketing strategy. If you have ever stood at that display, held a box of soft balls in one hand and a box of tour balls in the other, and felt that quiet pull toward the expensive one because the cheaper one felt like admitting your swing changed, you know exactly how deep that shame runs. And that is the transaction. You paid for prestige, you received less distance. That is the contract clubs and brands have written for you. Here is the truth. A ball optimized for your actual swing speed is not a concession. It is an upgrade. It is the single cheapest equipment change that adds measurable distance to your game because it does not fight your body. It works with it. Not a concession, an upgrade. That shift in language is the difference between walking out of the pro shop with 12 yards and walking out with a lighter wallet. Subscribe too. Keep making upgrades that actually improve your score, not just your shelf. Drop a comment with the word upgrade if you are ready to try a ball that fits your actual swing. In the next few minutes, this gets specific. We walk through each myth one by one, with the data that refutes it, with the test results that reveal it, and with the exact ball recommendations that will add 8 to 15 yards to your driver by your next round. The fifth myth, the lie that age does not change your ball requirements, is the one that costs the most, but it is also the easiest to reverse. You do not need a new driver, you need a new ball, and you need to ignore the shelf that tells you otherwise. The first myth first, because it is also the one you have been sold the longest. High compression. More distance. That line has been printed on boxes, repeated in pro shops, and whispered at fittings for 20 years. But the data tells a different story. When Golf Laboratories tested 15 different balls at an 85-mile-per-hour swing speed in 2021, the ball that produced the highest ball speed was not a tour-level 100 compression ball. It was a 75 compression ball designed for moderate swing speeds. The difference was not small. It was 3.2 miles per hour of ball speed. That translates to roughly 9 yards of carry distance, exactly in the range the amateur study found. The second myth is the most persistent because it sounds like physics. Soft balls lose distance on full shots. The reasoning seems solid. If the ball is soft, it absorbs energy, and energy that gets absorbed cannot become distance. Except that is not how impact works at realistic swing speeds. At 85 miles per hour, the club face delivers roughly 75 joules of energy to the ball. A soft ball deforms more, yes, but that deformation also stores elastic energy. The ball compresses, stores that energy as tension in its molecular structure, and then releases it as the ball rebounds off the face. The energy is not lost. It is delayed and returned. A hard ball at the same speed does not deform as much. It stores less elastic energy. The energy that cannot be stored is wasted as vibration, as heat, as sound. That hard click you hear off the driver face, that is lost distance. The third myth is the one the ball companies rely on most heavily. Match your compression exactly to your swing speed. The implication is that a precision fit will unlock hidden yards. But ball compression ratings are not that precise. A ball labeled 90 compression might actually measure anywhere from 85 to 95, depending on the batch, the temperature, and the testing method. The USGA does not regulate compression labeling. There is no standard. You are matching a number that shifts by the dozen. The real range of optimal performance for any swing speed is roughly 20 compression points wide. If your swing speed is 85 miles per hour, any ball between 70 and 90 compression will perform within 1% of its maximum. The difference between a 70 and an 80 is not measurable on the course. The difference between that range and a 110 compression tour ball is measurable because you have exited the window entirely. The fourth myth is the one that keeps the premium shelf stocked. Tour players all use high compression balls. Many tour players do not. When the PGA Tour started allowing players to use different ball models in 2020, a quiet migration began. Several players switched to softer balls for better short game spin. Justin Thomas, a player with a swing speed over 115 miles per hour, was using a ball rated at 84 compression. Rory McIlroy, one of the fastest swingers on tour, has been reported to prefer a ball that measures below 90 compression. If the best players in the world are choosing lower compression for feel, the argument that amateur seniors need maximum compression for distance collapses entirely. Remember the 2019 Golf Digest study. 8.7 yards gained by switching to a ball suited to actual swing speed. That is not a theory. That is a measurement from 3,000 real golfers playing real rounds. The same study tracked a smaller group of 400 golfers who refused to switch, despite seeing the data. Their average distance did not change. They continued playing with balls that underperformed for their swing speed because they did not want to feel old. The price of that feeling is specific. A 54 dozen of premium balls lasts an average of 6.3 rounds for a golfer over 55, assuming one lost ball per round. That produces an annual cost of roughly $260 if you play twice a week. A mid-compression ball, priced at $28 per dozen, lasting the same number of rounds, costs about $130 per year. The same distance, the same feel on short shots. Half the cost. The difference over 5 years, assuming you replace balls as you lose them, is about $625. That number could buy you a new driver. Instead, you paid it to a shelf that was designed to shame you. $625, the cost of feeling young for a decade. That is not a small number. That is a new driver, or a dozen lessons, or a trip to a course you have never played. Subscribe if you want more numbers like that, the ones that save you money and add yards at the same time. In the comments, tell us,
The data shows
how many of
even a
those
slight
feeling dollars
deviation
have you spent
impacts your
on golf
dispersion
balls this year?
significantly downrange.
If you have ever stood at the counter with a box of tour balls in your hand, knowing you could not feel the difference between them and a softer alternative, but buying them anyway,
The price
because
tag
the
is
alternative
just the
felt
beginning.
like surrender.
For
That is the
serious
moment
players,
the system
the feeling
collected its
dollars
fee.
add up fast.
The transaction was not about equipment, it was about identity. And the cost of protecting your identity against the truth of your swing speed is measurable in yards, in dollars, and in rounds that land shorter than they should. The truth is simpler than any marketing department will admit. A golf ball is a deformable sphere that transfers energy from club face to trajectory. It does not care about
As
your
you can
ego.
see from the
It
core
does not
structure,
care about the number
the key
on its
to market
box.
penetration
It cares only
lies in
about how much energy you
understanding this
deliver to
simpler
it
truth.
and how efficiently it can return that energy into forward motion. If you deliver 75 joules, you need a ball that stores and returns that specific load efficiently. A ball designed for 100 joules will simply not engage. You will feel it as a dull, dead sensation off the face. You will chase it with an equipment change. And the pro shop will sell you a new driver that does the exact same thing because the problem was never the club.
compression arm engages,
The
ball
receipt
shows
you opened
remarkable
at the
rigidity,
start of this
crucial
video
for
told you a
maintaining distance
story.
and controlling
The
the
story
overall
said,
cost per
your
shot.
game is a collection of upgrades
but the
waiting to
distance gains are
happen.
worth it.
New driver,
marketing is
new
certainly
irons,
compelling on
new
this one.
ball, each one a promise. But the most powerful upgrade you can make costs less than 2 rounds of greens fees. It does not require a fitting. It does not require a swing change. It only requires a shelf in a pro shop that you walk past, a box you do not pick up, and a quiet recognition that the ball you choose should match the swing you have, not the swing you had. You are over 55 years old. Your swing speed has changed. That is not a failure. It is a measurement. And the only mistake is letting a number on a box cost you 8 yards every time you tee off.
Calculated move, ensuring the legacy remains firmly in play for the next generation.